In a significant diplomatic move, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Kenyan President William Ruto have called for an immediate ceasefire in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo as rebel forces continue their aggressive advance. M23 rebels, reportedly backed by 4,000 Rwandan soldiers, now control large swathes of the region, including the South Kivu capital, Bukavu, and the strategic city of Goma. The United Nations Security Council has condemned the offensive, urging Rwanda to halt its support for the rebels and withdraw from DRC territory. Meanwhile, the DRC government has freed opposition leader Jean-Marc Kabund, a former ally of President Felix Tshisekedi, who had been imprisoned on the charges of contempt. His release follows growing domestic and international pressure amid the escalating conflict in the east, raising fears of a broader regional war. We are joined by guests to discuss this further. We are firstly joined by Himanshu Bhatt, senior journalist joining us from Gujarat. We're also joined by Major General A.K. Sawach, defense expert in New Delhi. And we're also joined by Dr. Levi Nadu, political analyst located in South Africa. Dr. Nadu, I wanted to come to you first with this question. Why are we seeing such prominent advancements of the M23 rebels, and what are their objectives in taking these eastern regions of DRC?
Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to my fellow panelists and the viewers at home. This has been an ongoing conflict for some time. It appears to be influenced by a number of factors. One of the factors would be the inability of the DRC government to take care of the citizens that are found on the eastern part of their country. And these citizens would therefore feel neglected, and they get the support from the Rwandan government. At the same time, there are issues that will therefore relate to the resources, mineral resources that are found in that area, which appears to be attracting a lot of interest from those that are local and those that are from outside. Equally, there are people that appears to be influencing this conflict, and mainly those that are coming from outside because they've got an interest in what they might get in such areas. Now you have got regional and continental bodies that are doing their best to ensure that there is peace and stability, proper governance and services are supposed to be delivered to those people, and indeed have lasting peace. But the unfortunate part is that there are those who appears not to be interested in ensuring that there is peace and stability in that area. And that is why we're seeing the M23 rebels appearing to be gaining strength and momentum in ensuring that indeed they destabilize the area in their own favor.
Yes. Major General A.K. Sawach, how does the involvement of neighbouring countries, particularly Rwanda, influence the dynamics of this conflict?
No doubt, as far as Rwanda is concerned, they are playing a role by backing M23 rebels, which are fighting in the eastern part of the Democratic Republic of Congo. And they have been supporting them in spite of the warning given by the also United Nations Security Council to have a ceasefire and return back to their old location. But the Rwandan force has been basically supporting the rebels which are of M23. No doubt, as far as the eastern portion of DRC is concerned, that is totally in control of rebels. They have basically control their capital Goma, then Bukavu, and the other major towns. And slowly and steadily they are advancing. There's total chaos and confusion. The people are looting the basically shops. There is a humanitarian crisis. and the MONUSCO, which is basically United Nations peacekeeping force, they have been also attacked. So
Yes.
overall, the situation seemingly looks to be quite bad. And as the Secretary of State of US, Marco Rubio, has also said that the ceasefire should take place immediately, the fighting should stop, but that has not made a much impact on ground. And you find the situation is very fluid. The Burundian army is supporting the DRC, and they are there still in DRC in the eastern portion. They are basically fighting against the rebels M23, which is totally backed by Rwanda. So overall, the situation is still critical. Things are not coming in control. And I fully agree with my co-panelists. The main region is the eastern portion of DRC, which is rich in the mineral resources like gold and coltan, which can be used basically in computers and semiconductor. Is also one of the region when a number of countries want to spread, including Rwanda. And the second thing is failure on the part of the DRC to govern in a professional manner. So overall, it looks as if the situation is still very fluid, and it will take some time the things to be under control in spite of the warning given by the United Nations Security Council.
Yes, Himanshu Bhatt, M23 rebels are walking into regions and cities, sometimes reportedly without any resistance. Obviously, they're also backed by 4,000 Rwandan soldiers. Do you think this increases the risk of a wider regional conflict if this continues?
If this continues, yes, it will escalate into a wider regional conflict. The reason for that is basically it's the dissatisfaction of the locals towards their government that fuels that. Anywhere in the eastern part today in DRC, what we are witnessing is a dissatisfied people. It's something like, in the neighboring Pakistan, when the Baloch people are dissatisfied with the government, they take up the arms. Now here what has happened is the outside forces, the Rwandan forces, have come and helped them. Now, so what is happening? USA yesterday sanctioned a minister from Rwanda. Today they call for a peace. Marco Rubio called for a peace, immediate ceasefire, but it's not giving results on the ground. The reason for that is, as my co-panelist said, very, very clear. The resource-rich land is not being exploited to the fullest, and the outside powers have a huge interest in gaining control over the land. For that cobalt, what we are talking about, China gets 70% of the cobalt that DRC produces. Now just imagine.
Yes.
That is used for the lithium batteries. Now it's a situation, you'll be surprised if someone is not interested. Outsiders are not interested. And when outsiders are interested, lots and lots of things go in, as we know. And in a land of Africa, where a few arms could be handful to so many people's lives, and that is what is exactly we are watching in DRC, that this is happening in eastern part.
Dr. Nadu, I wanted to come to you next. Could you talk about the richness of the land in eastern DRC, and also talk about the possibility of American involvement in the region after Marco Rubio's statement? Possible involvement.
There is always a talk about the mineral resources that are found in the eastern part of the DRC. And of course, when there are citizens who recognize themselves as the citizens of the DRC, but they don't get any form of attention from the government, other governments who have got an interest would therefore want to take advantage of that, because in any way, the best for them would be to try to be seen as being accommodative to these people, and indeed also want to take over that portion of land which appears to be neglected by the government. The only thing that the government appears to be interested in are the resources that are found in that area. Now, the participation of other countries, mostly outside the region, would be influenced by a number of factors. The first factor would be maybe they want to see peace and stability happening in that area, and such will be influenced by their participation in other international bodies that are interested in peace. Another form of participation or interest in such areas will be, of course, the desire to get access to the mineral resources in that area, so that in whatever happens, when there is peace or when there is calm, they could also be easily be able to get access to such resources. Other countries will mainly participate because they feel that when there is fight or wars, conflict, it is not good for humanity, and they'll love to participate in ensuring that such do happen. But my view is that it will be very important for countries who are trying their best to...
I am very sorry, Dr. Nadu. We believe to be having network issues. Thank you very much, General A.K. Sawatch. Thank you very much, Dr. Levi Nadu, for joining us on that segment of the programme.